Hello and welcome. And before we start this episode of the new Super Samurai Market, we have a very important announcement because today we are showing you something really rare. Exceptional. Robert, you would call it?
Erotica.
And I would call it porn. So stay with us till the end and watch this episode of the Super Samurai Market.
You won't be disappointed.
Hello and welcome to the new episode of the Super Samurai Market, October 2025. Today we are shooting again here from Kamakura. We are here at the home of Keichodo Samurai Fine Arts. My name's Paul Kramers and I'm here with Mr. Robert Hughes.
Greetings, everybody. It's been a while since we offered a Super Samurai Market, and we're happy to be back in the groove. And, it's autumn, the weather's fine, it's cooling off, and it's also the season of a very important event in Japan. What is that event?
It's the Dai Token Ichi, the great sword market. And this is organized by an organization called the Zentosho Kumiai, of which Robert is a member, and he will tell us a little bit about the background of this fair.
So the Zentosho Kumiai in English basically is the All Japan Commercial Sword Dealers Association. So it's a cooperative network of approximately, the membership ranges from about 170 to 180 dealers at any particular year. But the Dai Token Ichi event itself, it's the world premier event. And this year, about 69 dealers will participate. So of the total membership, 69 dealers will set up their small shops or these booth-like shops on the third and fourth floor of the Tokyo Bijutsu Club, which is the Tokyo Art Club building in Shimbashi. And this event has been the same venue as in past years. So it's quite a convenient location. And it's a very remarkable event.
Yeah, for those who come the first time also with the new catalog. The catalog of the new Dai Token Ichi is now ready here and is out. The printed version just came out, and if you are looking to buy it, if you are affiliated to some dealer, they might be able to sell you a printed version already. But there's an online catalog which might come out soon. Or?
So the online catalog should be out any day now. So if you just keep watching, there'll be announcements on places like the Nihonto message board.
So we will put the
Facebook.
link maybe somewhere.
We'll link it
somewhere here.
So that you'll be able to get access to the catalog content online. But it's always nice to have the hard copy of the catalog.
That's true, yeah.
And most of the dealers participating have copies. They're available with the tickets. And, if you're a good customer, you'll probably be able to get a complimentary copy off of your preferred dealer.
Exactly. But you still have to queue at the day of the event. So the queue is quite long. If you want to get a very fast glimpse at what's there, you should come early or just come in the afternoon and enjoy the show. Not queuing so long. But you have to, even if you have the catalog and the ticket already, it only saves you time. You don't have to purchase the ticket at the entrance.
It does speed up your entry a little bit, but the lineup is still pretty intense at the opening time on Saturday morning. So the Dai Token Ichi for 2025 is going to be on 2 days, November 1st and November 2nd. That's a Saturday, Sunday.
And we're looking forward to seeing many of you there.
Yes, it'll be our pleasure.
And now we continue with our Super Samurai Market, again showing you swords and Tosogu today. And we start with the swords. Robert, what did you bring us today?
So the first sword we're going to look at today is an interesting piece. It's actually, it's a stunning artwork, and I have it actually right in front of me here. You can get the idea that this is a very lengthy sword. It's actually 75.5 centimeters, which is Nishaku Yonsun Kyubu. So it's got great length. It's also got 2.4 centimeters of curvature or sori. So it's got wonderful dimensions.
So from what I see, there is something like a Gunome Midare. What can you tell us about the features?
So the features, well, in general, like we'll just start with the basic Suguta. So it's, Shinogi Zakuri and Iori Mune. You can see that probably. And then this graceful Sugita is, overall, it's very well balanced. And the Ji exhibits a flowing Itame Hada, or Nagarate, and it's very vivid, Ji Nie. So in Japanese, it's described as Hadadachi. There are plenty of chike, and an interesting feature is the Jigane is slightly dark looking, and in Japanese that's described as Kanairo Yaya Kuromi Gakaru. In the beginning, if you're looking at the hamon, from the machi area, the habaki, there's a short yakidashi, and then the hamon proceeds rapidly into tall choji mixed into the gunome pattern. So there's plenty of ashi and yo, and it's notably deep nioi-guchi along with thick nie. In the bottom of the temper line valleys, there are actually thick pools of nie and yubashiri of a very cloudy appearance. There's also kintsugi and tsunagashi visible in this piece. And examining the boshi, slightly different on each side. So it's Sugu ni Ura wa Midari Komi and Maruku Nagaku Kairi. So this blade actually has more depth than usual works by this smith. So it doesn't taper down that dramatically from the motohaba towards the motosaki. So it's got, very sort of masculine presentation. And there's a nice proportional chu kisaki.
And we actually didn't tell you who made this sword, because...
Yes, so we're holding that back so that you can practice your Kantei skills by listening to this description and, based on what I've told you, can you give your own kiyame or appraisal of, what this sword is? What type of sword is it and who made it? So the interesting thing about this sword is it was featured in the Token Bijitsu journal by the MBTHK as a Kantei sword. And that was in 2024 in January. So this exact sword, you can see basically the presentation of the blade there. Here's a photocopy of the pages 25 and 26.
Maybe we'll put it into the...
Sure, insert that in. So, based on the information you've been given, who do you perceive to have made this blade? And according to the description in the MBTHK Token Bijitsu journal, no one answered correctly. In other words, this was maybe specifically chosen as a very challenging sword to really create an opportunity for people to apply their knowledge. But some of the close
if you want to, at the screen, want to do a Kantei now, you can stop the video before Robert will enlighten you about the Kantei, and then try it. But as you said, it was really difficult. So why was it?
Well, first of all, I'll reveal who made the sword. So this is a full signature, and it's basically the work of Tadakuni. So Hizen Ju Harima Daijo Fujiwara Tadakuni. and it has a Tokubetsu Hozon certificate issued in 2023. So many participants in the Kantei were surprised that it was a Hizen blade, although there were some speculatory attributions to Masahiro or Yukihiro, but no one suggested Tadakuni. So you've asked, like, why was it so difficult to judge this blade? And the answer basically is, although overall the blade has proportional representation of a Hizen toe, it does not have the konuka hada of a Hizen blade. So that's not there. And the kitai is being more of a dark, tight koitame. So that would move this work away from, say, mainline Hizen smiths like first or second generation Tadahiro or some of the Tadayoshi smiths. So it puts it into the Waki Hizen category, but it's difficult to judge because there were Tsunagashi, and generally speaking with Hizen toe, you don't see that feature so much. So there were some tricky little features of this. Anyway, it's an interesting sword to study, and in and of itself, it's a very beautiful artwork. It's got the beautiful choji hamo, and these are large choji. So that's our first sword for today.
So nobody got Atari, but some people got Dozen? Or
like that, yeah.
Interesting.
You can check the results. It's all published in the Token Bijutsu article reporting on this sword.
So let's look at the next sword. You brought us another Hizen sword, Robert.
Yes, today we're going to double down on Hizen blades.
Hizen Dai.
So I'm hoping that there's a lot of interest in Hizen pieces, and I'm happy to present these two very beautiful Hizen swords today. So the second blade is also of great suguta and dimension. You can see it's got a nice mihaba and remains pretty robust right through to the kisaki. So this sword is Nishaku Sanzun Sambu, and we won't
in centimeters for untrained.
Well,
Shakudo.
so this would be like 70, just over 70 centimeters. So it's a standard length for reasonable length for katana in the Shinto period. So this is we won't play a kiyame game with this one. This will just be a presentation, and so this is the work of first generation, so Shodai Deiwa Daijo Yukihiro, and his name was originally Kurobe, and he was born the second son of Hashimoto Yashichi Byoe Nobuyoshi in the third year of Genna, so in 1617. You can see that it's got a pretty dramatic hamon, somewhat comparable to the Tadakuni we just looked at. So,
what are the features? Can you show us in this sword?
So interesting details. Well, let's first talk a little bit about interesting aspects of Yukihiro. So roughly in the third year of Keian, or 1650, he had just received the title Deiwa Daijo, and he's said to have moved to Nagasaki for the purpose of studying the use of Dutch iron and Dutch steel. So he had somehow taken a great interest in this, and so under Hisatsugu and Yashige Tanenaga, he learned to work with Dutch steel. And so many of his swords will have the inscription Orlanda Gitai o Mote, or made with imported Dutch iron.
Wow.
This one doesn't have that inscription, so obviously, this was created with, I believe, Japanese tamahagane. But he was very active in employing, overseas, basically.
But that would mean they brought the iron and created the tamahagane from the iron, or they brought the raw steel and
they would have brought iron in, and then they probably would have, worked to refine it and smelt it down to the level where, they were satisfied that they could make quality blades
according to the Japanese process, right?
Yes. So, and the work is very refined, and the jigane is stunning. So he was engaged in that. So eventually he ended up serving the Nabeshima family, the local daimyo, and he lived in the town of Nagase and produced swords there. He passed away on the 27th day of May in the second year of Tenwa, which was 1683. But during that period of his life in sword forging, he did other things too. So,
but you said it. I saw it has this Ichi character, right? In the signature. So normally the Ichi I know from the Ichimonji school, right? Who just signed with Ichi, but how does this Ichi relate here to?
So above the signature, where the region is Hizen, there's an Ichi, the horizontal mark across the Nakago. So, and that's an interesting feature because, as you said, typically that's the signature for Ichimonji blades. So why does this Shinto blade bear the Ichi? And so the answer to that is Yukihiro went with a fellow student who was Tadakuni, and we just studied a Tadakuni blade, and visited with an Edo Ishido smith, Shirobe Noriyoshi, and studied how to forge bizen blades, especially Ichimonji style. And so after that period of study, he incorporated the Ichi into the signature. So it does reflect the idea that there is recognition with these blades that there was an attempt to replicate the work of Ichimonji. So the question is, how well did he do? And the answer to that comes from an in-hand study of the blade, and the blade is actually very stunning. So all of this happened after he earned the title Dewa no Kami. So the other interesting thing about this sword is the distinction between the first generation Yukihiro and the second generation. And so there are a couple of Kantei points that are easy to remember. Number one is the first generation Yukihiro, his signature is very closely aligned to the mune of the Nakago. And the second generation is more central or to the right, and passes over maybe the Mekugi Ana. But you can see, if you look closely, and you'll be able to look on the photos that you're going to put into the video, the location of this signature, very tightly aligned to the mune. The Yukihiro, in the Hiro part, the first generation actually has one extra horizontal stroke cut into the Hiro. And in the Kuni part, inside the Kuni character, the direction, there's 3 slight cuts on the left side, and the bottom one is cut slightly differently than the second generation. So if you're aware of those 2 things, it's very easy in sort of a Kantei to determine the difference, or specifically whether it's a first or second generation. So those are just some small aspects. But this sword, I obtained Tanabe Sensei Sayagaki for it, and rather than describe the sword in specific terms, I'll just read the English version of his Sayagaki. So Tanabe Sensei started out by stating the sword has the 8-character signature and the addition of Ichi. So this work itself is the first generation signature, and the blade has nice depth and curvature. There's a mid-sized kisaki, so a chu kisaki. The boshi is Komaru style with a quick return, and there is tight konuka hada. So this is different from the tatakuni we were just looking at. Hamon is gunome choji, and with a short section of suguha near the hamachi. So there's about maybe 3 centimeters. And ashi and yo are present, and there's thick nioi and plenty of nie. The nioi is very bright and clear. So as Tanabe Sensei states, this healthy blade displays well the characteristics of Yukihiro, and it's an excellent masterpiece under his Yuhin Nari expression.
And now the whole thing in Japanese, please.
Oh, one more time.
Daijobu. But
just
yeah,
kidding.
I see it's very nice hada. That's the konuka hada, which really stands out, and as you can see it even in this
very
light,
bright and very tight.
Oh, very nice place.
Yeah, beautiful sword. And that's it for today's sword study.
And now we continue with the beautiful Tosogu.
Yes, some exciting Tosogu.
We have today here 3 pieces, and yeah, we would like to start with one Tsuba by none less than the famous Goto Ichijo. Yeah, Ichijo is definitely one of the great, I would still say Machibori masters, even though he's a Goto master. He worked in this free Machibori style. He was born in 1791, and I think he became quite old. He lived until the early Meiji period. And this piece was made, we can actually quite well date it to when he made it, because it is signed not only Ichijo Saku, so which means made by Ichijo, but it's also signed Raku Hoku Kyo. So that means resident of northern Kyoto, and Ichijo used in his later years, from the age 75, often used locations where he worked on as his signatures. And this piece is made in a so-called Sumikiri Mokogata form, where the edges, you will see it in the pictures, of the moko are kind of flat, and the rest of the rim is uchikaeshi, so it's hammered from the outside, so it creates this kind of, how would I express it in English?
It frames the motif very well. And speaking of the motif, this work is quite remarkable and different than what one would expect with the great master Ichijo. Also, the rich shakudo is unbelievable. A novice can look at this and see there's something significant with this piece. Tell us.
Yeah, Ichijo created this designs where he often used stamps to decorate the Tsuba surfaces. And normally we would find snowflakes often in different shapes, but here in this Tsuba we actually find the Kirimon, a motif which has been used by the Goto family from the very early origins. And additionally we find this hammered surface, which really, for some people, it even looks like iron, because it looks like a rusted iron surface, but it's actually a very deep and dark shakudo, beautifully decorated by hammering, so to create this almost natural, seemingly natural surface, like a stone surface or something. Very beautiful, actually, a beautiful piece. And it's designated as with Tokubetsu Zon certificate by the MBTHK. And as I said, according to the signature, we can say that this was made around 1864 to 1866. Actually, I brought 2 pieces from the Ichijo school, so to say, today. So the other piece is by Ichijo's, or one of Ichijo's best students. It's Nakagawa Issho. And this piece is a Mitokoromono, so a set of Menuki, Kozuka, and Kogai. I honestly think this set is Mume, but if it had been signed Ichijo, it would be Ichijo, right? It's very, very close to the teacher, especially the way the dragons are made here. You can see there's dragons on Shakudo, and on the Kozuka and Kogai we have these slight clouds emerging from the Nanako surface, very typical also for the school. And on the Menuki here we have these we have actually golden, full gold Menuki, solid gold Menuki, which are covered on top with Shakudo, which is quite rare to see.
So just around the edges of the dragons there are like the cloud pattern, or it's all done in a beautiful dark Shakudo. The combination is remarkable. Gold, Shakudo. Yeah. It's stunning. Great composition. And the high relief dragons on the Kozuka and the Kogai are very, very finely detailed. Amazing work.
Yeah, it's really pristine condition.
Condition is amazing.
There's no hick or anything,
no scuffs, no scratches.
That's how you want these high class Tosogu items to be.
The finest, in the best condition. Exactly. Definitely museum grade display work. Yeah. So, what have we got left to look at today?
Yeah.
I think you're holding something special.
I'm holding something special, yeah.
To entertain us.
To entertain us and to have some fun with Tosogu as well here in a very special lacquer box. Somebody really made the effort to make 2 boxes for this piece. And have it decorated with a mon. Do you recognize this mon? I don't recognize these leaves. And inside we find a little secrecy.
Those might be shunga leaves.
Those might be shunga.
There's myoga,
yeah.
And now there's shunga leaves.
There's shunga, yeah. Actually, we find a piece which is very rare, because in Tosogu it was forbidden to, to show erotica. It was forbidden to put shunga on Tosogu. But some artists dared to do so, and this is one Kozuka with a shunga design. So, yeah, shunga, it's nice. It means, it translates as the spring picture, right?
Yes.
It's so
it doesn't have the dirty connotation of pornography.
Nothing like that. It's shunga.
It's pure art.
But anyhow,
basic human acts.
Yeah, but it was not very well thought of back then by Tosogu artists. Actually, which is interesting.
I think the morality of the times considered it, there was a indecent aspect to it that clouded people's judgments. But
even though in print, right, it was normal, right? Print was quite common for shunga, but Tosogu, maybe because the noble, the samurai,
ukiyo-e prints were prolific, right?
Actually, yeah.
But people, kept those quiet too. Like many, even recently, there are collectors who, don't publicly make big boasts about their shunga collections.
That's true. So on this piece, which is interesting, we see on the left side the situation of the outside of a Japanese house and Japanese garden, and on the right side, behind the not the byobu, what's the folding screen, the folding door?
You mean not the sliding door?
Yeah,
you
the
mean the shoji?
Behind the shoji, you would see the scene of a man and a woman in a kind of very explicit coital positioning, which shows quite some detail, which is actually nice about this piece. And the funny thing about it, you have this very small folding screen here. You have this small door which you can insert, and then you can turn it from left to right, so you can actually hide the piece behind the shoji. I don't want to put it in because all the time when you put it over, you will probably.
So there's a sliding door that veils the actual coital act.
Yeah. So depending on your mood, you can either show the nice garden, or you can look at
You can
something
slide it
interesting.
back and forth from garden to procreational act.
Procreation.
Let's call it, maybe, futon sports.
Futon sports, yes.
is the way.
Horizontal futon sports.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting to notice that this piece is signed by Takase Eiju, a Mito master, a student of famous Motozane Mito master. And yeah, you can not get a certificate for Shunga designs. If you try to submit it to NBTHK, they will refuse to judge the authenticity of these pieces. And
so they're without certification.
They're always without certification, yeah. They come as they are. And they are, kind of rare, especially in this kind of quality. They're really rare to find. And
so you'll never get a Juyo.
You'll never get a Juyo, unfortunately. Yeah.
Even if the work is worthy.
It's definitely important. So you'll have the chance, if you come to this year's DTI, to look at this very rare item and also the other items we presented to you today.
Especially this Kozuka deserves a close study with the magnifying glass.
Bring your magnifying
because
glass.
The detail is quite amazing.
That's true. Will we open?
Very fine detail. We won't be using the sliding door.
We won't be. Okay.
We'll reveal all.
It will be all revealed. Is that allowed?
In its nakedness.
Oh my God.
To the public, on request.
So
they have to come forward to the Dai Token Ichi and visit Keicho-do Fine Samurai Art, and
Definitely.
We will share with them something rare and explicit and very interesting.
That's it. As always, thank you for watching, and see you at the DTI.
If you need further information, you can send email to Paul regarding the fittings, and you can send an email to me regarding the swords. Anyway, we're happy to be of service to the international community of collectors. Thank you very much.